Then we discussed how can we secure our Spring Boot application. So Spring by default provides us the security in the form of a dependency, and that is Spring Boot security starter. It comes as a starter, means whenever the application is starting, at that time only it will create a slash login page. What it will do? It will create a slash login page. And in that slash login page, by default, username is user and password will be generated by Spring on console when you are running the app. If you want to change it and you want to make a simple user, means you know that there is only one developer in your organization and only that one developer is going to use the app, so you can define it in application dot properties like this username and password. So this was the case where we left our class yesterday. How can we add multiple users into our Spring Boot application, which is secured by the security starter? So we are going to add some of the multiple users in a secure. Yes, we those who are joining online, guys, am I audible or not? Okay, fine. So let's open the class now. So what we have done is we have created these kind of get admin details, get password and get name. I will just change them. I will change all the URLs methods. So at first we will create one public string public method. What we are doing? We are creating one public method means anyone can use it. To this, I will give a get mapping of slash public. And this method is just returning this is public endpoint. Means anyone can use it. There is no restriction on this. There is no public endpoint. Then after I will create one public and which is just Karan.
మైక్రోఫోన్ ఉందన్న అది మరి స్పీకర్స్ హెడ్ ఫోన్స్ రిజెక్ట్ ఆడియో ఉంది డన్ వస్తుందా సో చెక్ ఇట్
Those who are joining online now am I audible properly?
వస్తుందన్న ఇప్పుడు అక్కడ స్టూడెంట్స్ నో అని చూపిస్తున్నాను ఇక్కడ అదే ఇక్కడ స్టూడెంట్స్ వాయిస్ ఆడని చూపిస్తున్నాను ఇక్కడ అంతేనా వస్తుంది ఒకవేళ వాళ్ళకి నెట్ ప్రాబ్లం ఉన్నట్టుందేమో లైట్ గా వినిపిస్తుంది ఇట్లా వస్తుంది సార్ చెక్ ఇట్ sound is not coming properly, sir. Sorry.
Now am I audible properly? Okay, fine. So let's start now. So here at first we have created one public endpoint. Public endpoint means anyone can use it. It's free for all. Here at first I will write slash admin. Then I will keep slash check admin. Means at first admin request, then inside admin check admin, like that. And we will create one more method, that is public string normal user, and it is also going to have one endpoint, that is slash user slash check user, and it is also returning one normal string user. This is user's endpoint, like this. So here we have created three different controllers endpoint, and now we will test them as first. For that we will start our main application. So it is not generating any ID and password, because in application.properties we have written some username and some of the password. So we'll go to our browser first, and we will hit localhost 8080 slash public URL. And on public also it is asking password. The reason is we are not doing any custom setting for it. We have to tell that public is free for all. Admin will use admin thing, user will use user things. Now, if I'm trying to check the public endpoint, it is taking me to the login page. What if I want to check admin slash check admin page or check admin endpoint, then also login page? The same way, I will write slash user slash check user, and we are getting the same login page. Let's type the things here. So here we have given the username and the password. And now we got that this is user's endpoint. Now in my application, I am having three kind of controllers. One is public, one is for admin, and one is for normal user. Admin means you can do CRUD operation. User means you can do only read operation, like that. So this is an interview asked question, that out of all the HTTP method, which one is the safest? Which one is the safest method? Get, post, put, patch, delete. You have five, right? Which one is the safest one? Get. How? So default things are good one. Hmm? You should have a answer for it. Like answer is get only, by the way. Get is the safest method. The reason is, by using get method you cannot update the values or delete the values, means you can only check. Now it's like you got my bank password, but by using that password you can only check the bank balance. Okay, this is the bank balance. You cannot make a transaction. Safest one. Get means you can only get the details, you cannot make any transaction. Now even if you got my bank details that this is the bank balance, what you will do with that? right? So that is why GET is the safest one. And here in this application, we have created three endpoints. One is this public, one is for admin, and one is for user. Now we will try to protect them. What we will do? We will try to protect them. That public is free for all. So inside this, we are having only one user and one password. This is the same password for public URL. This is the same username and password for admin and user as well, which is not safe. It's like Google is saying everyone will have the same password of Gmail. Not at all good thing, right? Because you can log in into anyone's account after that. So this is not a good practice to do. While learning the things in the development, you can use these tricks. But at last, you have to come down to something else. And that is creating in memory. See, from database already we have discussed this thing in the result tab. Now I will tell you creating in memory users. Creating in memory users, and that is the safest one that you created on database in result tab, because that cannot be cracked. It can be cracked, but not everyone can crack it also. Creating in memory users for Spring Security app. So I'll first write the code for it and then explain it. Means at the same time we will do. So yesterday we created one security config class, right? So I'll just remove the entire code. I'll just leave all for you. So here I am having one normal class in the same package, or you can create a config package for it, doesn't matter. Now this public class security config, you can keep any other name as well. I want this class to be the configuration class for all the beans. So it should be annotated with configuration annotation like this. Okay. And I want to make this class that it should provide the security rules as well. So there is one annotation that is enable web security. Enable web security means this class will start with the starting of the application now. Like other classes will wait for someone is calling them, creating their object. No, it is automatically configured here. Now inside this, we will create one method. Now the return type of this method will be security filter chain. What will be the return type of this? The return type is going to be security filter chain. And what it is? It is an interface which will be having the HTTP servlet request. I was printing the session ID by using this. So this security filter chain is, you can say, a particular chain of security levels that we are going to use here. So here I will create a method security filter chain. The method name will be filter chain. Now its return type should be filter change. Obviously we will do that. I will convert this method into a bean. What I will do? I will convert this method into a bean. Bean means, what is bean? Simple way, Java object, which is going to be initialized whenever you are running the app. It's very simple like that. So here we have created one method of return type security filter chain. Now this security filter chain, let's try to embed the HTTP security here. HTTP security, you can give it any name, let's say HTTP, and it throws the exception. So it is actually a checked exception. So you have to use try catch, or in the simple way you can write throws exception. So here we have created the security filter chain method, and this method whenever it called, it will create the object of HTTP security. Right? Now what we are going to do is we are going to add the things to this HTTP, because whatever communication is going on this HTTP only. So here I will keep HTTP dot authorize HTTP request. It means that I am trying to say that if any HTTP request is coming to you, you have to authorize that. In what way you will authorize? So here we are going to create a lambda expression of auth. Auth simply means that you are going to take as a value. You can keep any value here. So here I am taking auth as a value. Now in this auth, what I will do is I will try to check that what you are doing. So I will say auth dot any request. I am not providing any multi-layer security. We are just going to add some of the users. So just now, what we are doing is we are saying auth dot any request. It means that if any request is coming to you, what you have to do with that request? Any request dot authenticated means you have to write that request that it is authenticated. No checking, no password checking, nothing. Just authenticate it. Once this all the requests are authenticated, but we will providing one particular form login that Spring Boot is giving. So here I will say dot form login. Now in this form login, what I will say, understand. Here we are adding something to the HTTP, and we are writing one method here that authorize the HTTP request. In what way? Any request coming to you, make that request as authenticated by doing the form login, right? By doing the form login. And here we will return something, and we will return HTTP dot build method. What we are returning? We are returning HTTP dot build method. Like this, very simple. Now, if we start our application, what will happen? So I just saved the file, and you will see that here we are getting something like this. Here in our console, we are getting something like this. It is generating one username and password. But after that, condition evaluation delta, positive matches none, negative matches, these are exclusion none, unconditional classes none. And as of now, we are not able to understand all these stuff. So it has already generated one password for us, because in application.properties we have commented out that code. Now let's say in the same way, we are going to hit localhost 8080 with the public URL. So we are getting the login page. I'll keep here user and password, whatever is generated. And we got that this is the public endpoint. Means whatever request we were writing there is getting fine. There is no problem in this bean. But I want to create multiple users now. I don't want to depend on whatever Spring is generating. So here we have something as user detail service. Here we have one interface, user details service. Now what it will do? It is a core interface which loads user specific data. What it will do? It will load the user specific data. That's it. Means you can create some in-memory users. What you can do here, we can create some of the in-memory user. So the same thing I'm going to create public user details service. You can keep any method name here. Let's say user. So here we are creating a method of user details service, and I need that this method should be invoked as a bean. This method also should be invoked as a bean, because I want all these user value to get updated whenever I am running the app. Now inside this you can create user. How I will create user? So I will say user details user 1. What I'm doing, user details user 1 is equals to, now you can create multiple user here. So I will say user dot, inside that you will say something as with username. User with username. What is the username? Let's say there is one username as admin that I am keeping here. User with username admin dot password. What is going to be the password of this particular person? Here I am not going to use a direct string password. Here we are not going to use a direct password. Let's say if I am using any direct password, what will be the problem? So here we are creating user details. Let me open it in user with username admin. Password is also admin. Now, what will be the roles of this particular user? If I am saying what will be the roles of this particular user. So inside that you can attach roles. What will be the role of this user? The role of this user is admin. Keep it in full caps just for identity. So there is one user with the username as admin, with the password as admin, and role as admin dot build. dot build. So here we have created one particular user for our application. The same way you can create a second user, that is going to be user 2, and it is going to have the username as user, password as, by the way, we don't keep password in this format. There is a problem in this. Well, I'll tell it to you. But as of now, take it like this: user with username, user, password is also user, role is user, dot build. Now we have to return a user detail service from this particular method. So let's return it. So here I will return a new in memory user detail manager. And inside this, I will provide both the user 1 and user 2. So very simple. We just created two user details and provided them to the in-memory user details manager. That's it. So simple. Now let's save the file and we will check what we are getting in our application. So we'll check, is Spring generating any password? No. Why? Because you are providing the in-memory users now. It will not give you any password. Now it is becoming interesting. So at first I'll do log out from here. So let's say I will fetch localhost 8080, and in that, let's say I am fetching public URL. It is asking me username and password. I have kept admin and admin. I'll do sign in. Again, we are coming to the login page only. It's not getting us login. Let's try to log in with user. So user and user. No. Let's check the console. And console is hitting continuous error. Whenever you are doing something, here it is hitting with continuous error. And what it is telling, given that there is no default password encoder configured, each password must have a password encoding prefix. And this is the thing that is added into Spring Boot after I started learning. Me before that you can use directly admin password. Now it is telling you that why you are writing your password like openly visible. Let's write it in such a way that nobody can see this. So here when means Spring is telling me the error that you are not using any password encryptor. See, I'll tell you one thing. When I was in school, and in my class, there was not even a single person whose Facebook account I haven't opened by hacking and cracking. It was very simple at that time to crack. Even now also, if you are able to do now also, you can go get into anyone's account. It's like super easy. Before the closing of application, one day I'll show you a little bit part of hacking. Only little bit, not so much. That too I will show, not teach. Okay. And I think I have one day shown with the Srikar only, Srikar's mobile. One day, remember? I checked your mobile in React batch. Uh, so that is like very simple things where you can get the details and like that. Our discussion is not that, by the way. Now let's say this is the database of Facebook. What I'm trying to tell is this is the database of Facebook where Facebook is storing the email address and password of its users. So, earlier it used to store in email or mobile number, and here it is storing password. Last time No, by last time I means previously. It used to be very simple. Like if you got access to anyone's database, you can check the thing. Let's say email ID shivam at the rate of gmail.com. This is the email ID, and my password is 123456789. Like that simple. Now this is my password, clearly visible. You can open anyone's account like that. If you got email password, you can open anyone's account. After that, only two-factor authentication was introduced. That even you got email ID and password, a code will go to the owner's mobile number. That is the only reason that two-factor authentication was introduced, because checking someone's database is very easy, and it is a psychological thing. It's not a like very technical coding hacking thing. Let's say you want to know about Shrikar, just sit with him for 10 minutes and say, Shrikar, I know you are very sad. He will tell 10 things about himself. Simple. Same way, website, you can locate them and they will tell their database. It's so simple. I'll tell you some of the very big organizations whose database I have checked without having their access. See, I was in Hotstar, so of course I can check theirs. In Flipkart, I can check. I have checked Amazon's and Rapido, Uber, Uber Eats, and there is one very famous restaurant chain of Hyderabad, restaurant and hotel chain, very famous. There, very easy, right? Very easy. You just need to communicate with the website and ask, "How are you today?" Then website will tell, "Hey, we are very sad. We have to handle a lot of data." They will tell everything. So what Facebook did, that now we will not store the password in direct format. Now if my password is 12345, it will be stored something like this, which is next level impossible for a human to crack. What is this password? This is not the real password. This is the encrypted password. There are some of the algorithms to do. Like MD5 is there, MD5, SHA1 is there, SHA29 is there. And I'm talking, these were very safe around 2016, 17, like that. After that, they are also not safe. I will show you a simple example. Go to your browser and type plain text to MD5, and you will get multiple website. Open any website, and there you type your actual password. Let's say your actual password is Shrikar at the rate of 7199, and you can generate, this is the equivalent MD5 algorithm password, and this is SHA1. In database it will be stored like this, but at that time it was hard to crack that what is this password. But after that hacker came, they developed a simple website. Come to this website, copy, reverse is also possible, decoding is also possible. Come, paste, take the password, again login. Then they introduced two-factor authentication. What they introduced after that? Two-factor authentication. That now you take the real password, real email ID, but a code will go to the person's mobile number or whatever the primary device is, like that. After that only, Spring started telling that you cannot use the passwords directly. You cannot use the password directly. You have to use something else. Now, what kind of password encoders are available? So Spring provides you something as bcrypt password encoder. What it provides you? there is one class, and this is available in Spring Security only. There is bcrypt password encoder class which will encode your password in a secure format. That's it. No MD5 because they are easy to crack now. So how we will use them? Very simple. At first we will create one method here, that is public password encoder. What I'm doing, we are creating a method public password encoder. Now inside this, we will just return the object of that class. Return new bcrypt password encoder. That's it. You can you cannot directly auto wired it. That's why I have created its method and using this. That's it. How we will use these details inside our password? So whenever you are directly typing the admin, let's make it a bean also. Whenever you are typing the password directly, don't type it directly. Use the encoder method. So here I will say encoder, and encoder method is available here. Here you can check this encoder method is available. Now inside this encoder method, I will use dot encode. And what password I am trying to encode, I can type this password here. Encoder dot encode, and whatever password you are trying to type, you can type it. For user, we need a password like add user, and for admin we like a password as admin. That's it. Now I have created two particular users. Let's check them. So we will save our file, and as we are using Spring Boot dev tools, so it will automatically restart. Now we are not getting that particular certification issue, license issue, public class. Why? Because your password is safe now. Your passwords are getting encoded. But let's try to log in here. So I will fetch the public URL, and inside that we will keep user, password is also user. We'll do sign in, and we are coming to the continue page. Means this is the public endpoint. Now let's try to log out from this, and I will log in as a admin. Admin, admin. I think something wrong we have written. Okay, wait. We'll just refresh the public URL, and we got public endpoint because we were trying to fetch logout. That's why. So we are getting logged in here. Again, I will do logout. So slash logout. It is asking, yes, I want to log out. Again, I want to check the public page. Now it is asking me to log in. I will log in as a user. Like public is free for all, so it is visible in the endpoint. Now I will try to check admin. What is the controller name? Hyphen admin. Okay, slash admin slash check admin. My bad. Only admin can see this, but as a user, you are also able to see this. Now, authentication is working properly, not authorization. So at first, this is what you need to do to create in-memory users without any authorization. Same way you can create user 3, user 4, user 5, and you can click any number of that will work exactly. So that is how you can create in memory what we are using here. At first, we are using one your filter G, which will filter out. By the way, right now it is not doing any filter because anyone can use any URL. We will add our filters and then we are creating the users. Like what will happen if I am removing this particular filter? Let's say I'm not doing any security filter G. Now we are getting it. Let's try to log in here. We will put the code to get the password. Now the voice is clear. Now also not clear. Is it clear now? Is there any glitch now also? Okay. So now let's try to log in here and I will try to check the public URL and we will type user and user and we are able to get. Then what is the use of that particular method that filter out? We can directly create user detail service like this. And let me remove it from there as well because they are not needed. You can just use the method of user detail service and just enjoy it, right? That method is actually used whenever you are trying to add the authorization. What we are going to do whenever you are trying to add the authorization. Now, what is the authorization? Authorization means controller is having three API: public API, one API for admin, and one API for user. And everyone can use anyone. We are not restricting anything. Now that is called authorization. And that particular method we are going to check. So before writing the code for it, understand this thing. Here we have created two user and with their role. Role is admin and their role is user. What we have created? A admin role and a user role. Let's try to create a filter chain now. Now we will filter out the requests that are coming. So public security filter chain method name is, we can keep filter chain. It will have the object of HTTP security HTTP and it will throw the exception. Here at last I am returning HTTP dot build method so that it will not throw any error. Now we will fix our things. How we will fix? Same way. HTTP dot authorize HTTP request, that whatever requests are coming to you, you have to authorize them. So we will create a lambda expression here, means you will take the auth state and you will do auth. If you have worked with Firebase, then you will remember what is this auth. It is the state of any user, whether it is logged in or a logged out user. So what we are doing here, we are creating a HTTP dot authorize the request, and here auth is the parameter. You can take anything, by the way. Now we will write the matchers. We will not say that any request dot authenticated. No, here we will write auth dot request matchers dot request matcher. In request matcher, I will type one URL, that if any request is coming from slash admin, remember, if any request is coming from slash admin slash, you can keep two asterisk here, means after that it can be anything. But if the request is coming from slash admin like this, admins will be having slash admin. So if any request is matching this pattern, that it is coming from slash admin, and after that it can be anything, dot has role. Now you are telling that if any request is coming from this particular endpoint, it belongs to someone whose role is admin. You are defining the roles here, right? Role of admin, role of user. Same way, I am telling here that if any request is coming from slash admin, you are telling that it has a role of admin. Now, only this user with the username as admin and password as admin, that only can log in here. Only admin can access the endpoint. So this endpoint can be accessed by the admin only. No one else can access that. This is the first request matcher. Second also we will have, that is dot something error is there. Hmm. Okay, this one. Dot second also you will have a request. If any request is coming to you from slash user slash like this, dot has role, it is the role of user, it is the role of user. Here only admin can access, and only admin and user can access. Both. Admin is admin, it can access user's account also. So what we are doing here, we are matching two requests, one for slash admin, one for user, and we are assigning that, okay, if your request is coming from slash admin, only admin can use, and if it is coming from slash user, user can use it. But you have to tell it that both user and admin can use it. For that, I will type like this, admin comma user, that if admin want to check something related to user, it can check. Now both if you don't want admin to check, You can just remove it. There is one public API also. There is one public API also. For that also, we will create the because user should have a priority for user's endpoint. Saved up. Wait, I'll stop the server once. So here, let's understand this only first. Any request coming from slash admin, only admin will use. And admin means whose role is admin. If any request coming from slash user, it means that this one will be using that who user and admin both can use them. Second way, again we will be having the there is some wait, there is some issue in the code. Request matchers. Okay, got it. Here we are providing two user. So we have to tell that there can be any role, either user or admin. Both can log in here. Either the user or the admin, both can log in, has any role. Then again, we will have one request matcher. Now there is one public API also. We have one public API also. What is the endpoint of public API? Just simple slash. Now, if any request is coming from slash, comma, slash login, comma, slash public, slash double asterisk, you can keep. If you are writing any other URL endpoint like by your name, you can make it. So here, if any request is matching either slash, slash login, slash public, in that case, dot permit all can use it. Dot permit all, anyone can use that. Now in the same way, dot any request dot authenticated, whatever request is coming to you, you have to make that particular request as authenticated. How you will make that? By making the dot form login. By making the dot form login, you can all form login. And now let's restart the application again. It is showing error somewhere. Start the application. So we are not getting any warning from Spring Boot. Let's try to check all of them. So at first we will log out. Yes, we want to log out. Now at first we will check that as a admin, I am able to check all the URLs or not. So at first I will hit the public URL, and for public URL it is asking password, and I will write admin's password. Public doesn't mean that outer can use. Inside organization people can use that. Now as a admin is able to check the public URL. I will type admin check admin. We are able to check. Let's try to check the user as well. So user check user. As a admin, I am allowed to use any of the endpoint. Now we will do logout. And again, we will try to fetch the public page by the username and password of user. User and user we have kept sign in. As a user, I am able to check the public page, right? As a user, I am able to check the public page. Let's try to check the users, right? By writing the user's credential, I am. Now clear? Okay, fine. So here we'll just check the endpoints. Admin has role, admin, okay, admin. So let's log out first, and we will try to fetch the public URL by user's detail, and then we will check the admin's URL. Now, this is the problem, that when a user is trying to check the admin's page, it is properly available. Now, what we will go? We will go to Postman. And we are trying to do the same thing using Postman as well. So we are making a GET request to http://localhost 8080/public. Now you know we need to send the authorization, that to basic auth, username is user, password is user, and we will make a send request, and what we got is this is public endpoint. We are getting fine. What if I'm trying to check the admin's endpoint? And in Postman also we are getting the same thing. That means we are getting the page that only admin can use it and we are getting 200. Okay. Why our Spring Boot is not protecting it now? Our Spring Boot should protect it. When we are writing the multiple methods like that here we are defining the role of each and everyone, and then we are building the users like that. Why it is not allowing the, why is it allowing the user to check the admin page? Now, in this particular section, what we are doing, we'll just revise it. So here, HTTP security with HTTP and wait. The finance security medium is JWT that we will build at last. JSON Web Token means we will build a token based login. That is the secure way of login. But it also do this. There is some code issue that we are making. Controller is like slash admin check admin select user check user. Okay, got it. At first we have to annotate it with at the rate of bean because it is not getting registered. My bad. We have to register it as a bean. And okay, let's check it now. Okay, now it is working. Public URL means completely public. If I want to check the user, you have to type email, username and password. So we are hitting users endpoint and we are getting. Now with the user's account, if I'm trying to check the admin's one, error page, you cannot check. That was the simple problem that it was not getting registered on the app because we were not annotating it with at the rate of bean. Now it is getting done. That is how it does. What I will do is I will log out and re-log in as a admin. So we'll just go to slash admin page now. Only admin can use this. Now as a admin, I can check the users page as well because I am the admin. and public is public for all, like this, no user is there. We'll log out again and test our application once again for authorization. At first, we will try to check the user's detail by typing the user's username and password. We are getting user's endpoint. As a user, you cannot get the admin's endpoint. It will give you error. And that is how we enable the authorization in Spring. Enabling the authorization in Spring. For that, just simple code you need to type, this one. And don't forget it to register as a bean, otherwise it will not work. So like this you can make. Okay. Yesterday, we logged in into one website that was railway website for deploying our application. So let's go there and I'll try to log in again. So already logged in here, and you will see these kind of things I am getting here, right? And we are currently on the free plan. You can say trial plan where 30 days or $5. Now let's try to check our particular parts. So yesterday we were trying to create a online database here. What we were doing? We were trying to create a online database. If I check my project uses, so as of now, 5 credits are available, all 5. Means I have not used anything, just little bit I have used, 0.08, just that too for creating the online database, right? And $4.92 is left. So 0.08 is gone in creating database only. Now yesterday we created one database here. Now let's understand one particular part. Whenever in our Spring Boot application dot properties, we are writing like this: Spring dot data source dot driver class name, and then we are typing JDBC colon MySQL, means the URL, colon double forward slash localhost colon 8080 slash logtalk. Means our Spring Boot app will try to communicate to JDBC. Then using JDBC, it will try to communicate to a MySQL database where it is running. It is running on localhost 3306. Where the database is running? Localhost. Localhost means if I'm shutting down my laptop, database is gone. Means we need a online database. What we need? We need one online database. Now in this you will get lot of things that you can deploy, like this, like that you can do. Here you get one deploy section, one network section, one scale section. Scale means if you are using your app very high, you have to pay and it will give you fast service. What it will do? It will give you very fast services. Now you can read the things here. You can read the things like this. At first, we should deploy our front end project because in our Spring Boot, I'll close all of these things first and I will open the LogTalk project. In this, we are having controller, and in controller, we are allowing the cross origin, right? From which link? Localhost. So what do you think? Your front end will be on localhost only? No. Your front end will be on some another link. So if you are done with your React and all, so you can deploy it by using Netlify or Vercel. What you can do, you can deploy it by using Netlify or Vercel. So we are going to use Netlify here. And don't deploy all the backend projects. Otherwise, you might be asked to pay a heavy amount. Telling you on my personal experience. And you have to pay, by the way, there is no option. So now our project is logtalk.netlify.app. We'll just deploy the project and it is getting deployed. So our project is available on this link now. https://logtalk.netlify.app. Now I will start my Spring Boot application in localhost only to check whether it is working or not. So it is not supposed to work in that way. So let's start the app first. Now our Spring Boot is running. What I will do from my front end, I will try to encrypt one message. Something random message you are typing and one encryption. Now when I'm trying to encrypt the message, we'll go to console. We'll just go to console and from here I will hit the encrypt message button. Course error. Now Spring Boot is not giving permission to this website that you can use me or not. Why? Because to our Spring Boot, we are just saying that if any request to you is coming from this link, allow, otherwise don't allow. But this time we need to change it. I will remove this link and I will type the new front end link like this. We have to restart the application. So we will restart now. And from the front end, again, I will try to encrypt this message. And this time message encrypted successfully, that this is your secret message, this is your password hint. How Spring Boot is taking the request? Spring Boot is taking the request from this one now. So that's why I deployed the front end first. Now, what changes we are going to make in our backend? So in the railway, yesterday I created this online MySQL, right? Yesterday I created this. Same way you can also create. Don't use it anywhere unnecessarily. I will go to deployments here in MySQL, and this is the domain which is available, but we'll check it later. At first, I will check MySQL only. And here I will go to details. Here MySQL will provide me the details. This is the root password. This is the database name, railway. This is the MySQL port number. And what you have to type, this is the URL, mysql colon double forward slash, then username, like that you have to type. Username is root. So let's change the things. In our backend, we'll go to application.properties, localhost 3306. We need a link in place of localhost. So what is there? Let's go to our railway. Where is the domain name? Where is the domain name? So here it is telling something like this one, shuttle.proxy.railway.net. Let's try to open it. So deploying a backend application is like very tough. It requires lot of headache with errors. Inside this, you will see that our MySQL is running. So let's try to change the things. So what I will do, this is the link. Let's copy it and paste it in place of localhost. Now instead of localhost, it will be running on this. Port number is 3306 only. And we'll go back to this again, details and variables. MySQL database name is railway. That also I will change from LockTalk to railway, like this. Username is root. Password, whatever password it is giving you, use that only. So this is the password. I'll copy it and paste here. And please don't, any one of you don't deploy on my credentials, right? So here we are changing the driver class name, URL, username, and like that. Let's save this and restart the application. Our application is like doing like this, no problem, like this. I will go there and refresh your services. So here you will see that we are supposed to get the table. We are supposed to get the table, but we are not getting any table. No problem. What we will do, we will go to our front end and we will actually try to encrypt another message. Hello, like this. Some password I will keep, password hint I will keep, and go to inspect. Go to console. I will encrypt this message, and while encrypting, what we are getting? Connection error, connection refused. Check the Spring Boot. Now Spring Boot is also hitting the error. Hibernate error, Spring error, lot of errors. What are those errors? unable to obtain isolated JDBC connection. Communication link failure means Spring application is not able to connect with these things, right? It is not able to connect with particular database. So let's check the logs again of railway. So we'll go to deployments. We will go to this link and go to details. Inside that you will get variables. So what you have to type is password is this, database is railway, port is 3306, public URL, you have to type it like this, and this is the MySQL URL. Now what you are understanding from this, these are the two things. There are the two things. One is MySQL URL and one is MySQL public URL. What you are understanding from this particular thing? That we have to keep our URL in this way. This is the one assumption that we can make. Let's restart our application. I have removed JDBC this time and we will restart our application. And what we got? Same problem again. And what is the problem? Driver com.mysql.cj.jdbc driver claims to not accept JDBC URL. Now it is telling that I will not accept this URL. Means we have to keep our JDBC. We cannot remove it. It is telling that from the URL, you cannot remove JDBC colon MySQL. You have to keep it. Then what is the particular thing that we have to make here? Again, go to railway and check username, root. This is the public URL. This is the MySQL URL. And it is telling you, let's understand that MySQL colon double forward slash. Then you have to write the MySQL user. It means JDBC colon MySQL colon double forward slash. Let's remove it. We'll go to logs. What it is taking? Double forward slash. Then it is taking the username directly. So let's provide it. We will provide root here like this. But it is wrong, by the way. Then colon, you have to provide the root password. So this is the root password. Colon root password like this. After root password, at the rate of railway private domain. Now where is the railway's private domain? It should tell us, but it is not telling where is the railway's private domain. Now we are used to see the things that where is the domain of this, because it should provide us some domain here. Now there is one option. You check all the things like this, like this, like this, like this, or else directly you can go to this variables and here these are the things available. This is the public URL you got directly like this. This is the password you got, like here you got the public URL directly. This is the URL. This is the database name. This is the host name. This is the password again. This is the port number. This is the URL. So what I will do, I will just copy this particular public URL completely and go to Spring Boot and I will paste it. JDBC colon MySQL colon slash slash root and then password, then at the rate of something like this we are writing, and root password. Again we will restart our application. Got the connection with database? No, array table is created, then we got the connection with database. Now if we are refreshing our MySQL here, so are we supposed to get any data? So let's check. I will go to data and you will see that here we got one message table. Currently it is empty. So now from the front end, let's try to make it. So I will encrypt the message. Message is encrypted now. And where this data is going? To the Railways online server MySQL data. You can see ID1 message hello. Same Spring Boot is working, but database is online this time. Deployed or not? No. What is left? Spring Boot app is running in my laptop. I want one link where my Spring Boot is running every time. Where my Spring Boot is running every time. Then what is that kind of link? Now go back to Railway again and go to home page, or else you can go to new page here, and we will deploy one project from GitHub. It means that our Spring Boot project now should be available on GitHub. So I will go to my GitHub and here I will create one repository, that is lock talk hyphen sb, means a Spring Boot. Create repository, and you can use the basic git commands to upload the project to GitHub. So where is Lock Talk? Lock Talk. Here is the app. Inside this folder, I will run the command prompt and we will do all the operation of Git. So here you will see that we got our entire Spring Boot project on GitHub, right? We got everything on our GitHub. Now again, we will go to Railway like this only, and let's try to deploy the application. So we'll go to the home page and you will see one option that deploy a new project. Remember, if you are hosting the database, that is a service. So what you have to do, deploy a service or start a service. MySQL service is working fine. Now I will deploy one project. So from where I have to configure my GitHub here so that it will directly take, and I will select my LogTalk SB repository that just now we selected and install and authorize. Type your password. Now what we will do is we will try to deploy it again. So same way, refresh here and I am getting my repository Locktalk SB. I will select this repository. It will take time. And it is just deploying. It can give any error also. It is possible. And if it is getting any error, we'll solve tomorrow. Already we are getting very late. Yes, you can do the result project also, but it's not free. If you are using it for some time and it will be over, $5 is like very small amount. $5 means around what? 400 rupees. But if you are really interested in backend, then you can pay like 500,000 rupees. It's just like 1 minute thing that you are spending on rubbish things. You can spend here. Our server cost comes in lakhs that we are using for our deployments. So as expected, there are some development failures. And what is the problem? Okay, got it. Means it's a Maven problem. So we'll fix this tomorrow only. You have to do clean install in your local host first. But anyways, we'll deploy it. So today you can do one thing. Deploy your front end application. Then after deploy your database, connect your database with Spring Boot, and then we will deploy your backend application tomorrow. Okay.